let's see if...
that looks good.
I want to scroll. Okay, so we're going to do a quick sound check.
How are we doing?
Testing.
I'm trying to get, like... There we go, all 3 bars. Alright, now we're going to do a quick sound check.
Sound check. How we doing?
I like the new intro. I hope your friend likes the new intro.
Shout out to Drake for pointing out that the old weird rap music.
That was the only feedback you gave me, but you said my friends were giving feedback. What else?
Hi.
V!
V's here.
So if you want, you can sit in Tommy's seat, or you can hang out over here. What else?
I feel like...
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Fuck.
V's in the corner.
Fuck the people, like, judging and shit. This is... We're welcoming here, okay?
Alright.
But just keep in mind, if you sit here, there's a microphone there, so don't sit on it, please. So that's why...
It is live.
You can sit wherever you want. We're fucking... We should just banish Tommy to the corner when he gets here. Except for he's selling me an SNES Classic, which...
Can be Gary. I can't reach it.
No, leave Gary there. It took a while to get him there. Oh, we were gonna put him where Tommy. Take the M&Ms. That's Tommy.
Okay.
They should be in the shot, anyways, because they're fucking dope. I've had those since I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm into movies and stuff.
Right on.
Perfect Christmas present. Okay, hey, welcome to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. I'm Jay.
I'm Drizzt. And that's V back there.
Hi.
And we got V back in.
We're gonna go.
Tommy's missing.
He found me, but we lost Tommy in the process.
This isn't like a thing. Yeah, my sister said you found Drizzt, but where's Tommy? I don't fucking know.
Holy shit, wait, she's watching live?
Yeah, she's awake.
Oh, damn.
Well, she has sleeping troubles because her kid's, he's in that phase where he doesn't like sleeping. So, he's like 2 and he's independent and he knows how to break free.
Okay.
No Tommy.
I'm a
Okay.
liar.
Christopher Goodrich.
What's up, Chris?
Hey guys, god damn it, we lost Tommy, so I guess yeah, it's like an every other week type of thing going on right now, which is really funny. So, if you guys are watching us live on YouTube, you can check us out at Google Play and iTunes. Put a little nerdy in your pocket. And if you're listening to us on iTunes and Google Play or Stitcher or iHeartRadio, feel free to check us out live every Wednesday around noonish.
Shit, dude, did we make it to iHeartRadio?
Watch it later. Yeah, we're on all 4.
Hot shit.
Hot shit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we got four things, just not cool enough for Spotify.
Goddamn.
Spotify, if you hear us. Spotify, can you hear me?
Or like, don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Your fucking call, dude. We're on most of the major platforms now.
Suck
on that. Underpaid musicians and shit.
V, I'm gonna write down our Wi-Fi password, so if you feel like just surfing...
I don't need it. I have unlimited.
Oh, wow, shit! I want that so bad. Like, I have 2 gigs.
I feel really awkward.
That's tragic.
Yeah, jump in. Fuck those guys. Until Tommy gets here, that's his banishment spot until he gives me my SNES Classic, and then.
Wait, oh, is it like the actual classic?
No, like the classic, the one that's preloaded with like 80 games.
Yeah. So I got like 24, I think, on the SNES. But here's the thing, okay? So the NES Classic, that was not my era.
Yeah.
The NES, the SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That's my shit. I grew up on that. So, like, Tommy was going to sell me his. And I'm, like, super excited. I want one so bad. Like, I was thinking about downloading ROMs and shit, but this is just, for me, having a little thing that looks like it and everything feels good. I have one. Like, my parents have one that's, like, component cables, but it's just a bitch to set up. Like, you know?
Archaic technology.
Yeah, archaic technology not translating well.
It's the future.
I used to have the original, the first gen, as a kid.
So mom and dad have that. We were setting that aside for the kids, but again, like I said, it's just a pain in the ass to set up. My sister's like, what happened to the one that we have?
But Dig Dug.
I have a question.
That was my shit.
For you guys.
Dug.
Dig Dug?
What was the first video game you ever played?
Yeah, what is the first video game you guys ever played? Chris Goodrich, I don't think I asked you that one. I know his preference is like Madden and stuff like that.
Tecmo Super Bowl then.
Tecmo Super Bowl. Mine, so first video game I ever played, and I've said this like a million times on Twitch, but I'll say it again today, was A Link to the Past.
Nice.
In kindergarten, I used to be babysat by a friend of mine, and I'd go over to his place every day in kindergarten before school. Like my parents would drop me off over there before work, and then we would play A Link to the Past. And I remember the blue guards specifically and like killing them and stuff. And I was like, this game is cool. And then years later, I was playing Ocarina of Time, and I like see the Triforce symbol. I'm like, that looks really familiar. And I'm like, the guard music, I'm like, this is really familiar. And then like it like clicked. I was like, oh my god, this is a sequel. and then, you know, I've been a Zelda fan ever since, which I can say like I'm a fan, but I'm not like a diehard fan. Like I've never beat A Link to the Past, which is on my goal list. I've played a good half of it recently because I bought a copy of it while I was at Gamers and stuff. But then, you know, and I beat Ocarina of Time. The first time I beat it with a lot of help because there was like it was that it's the last level, like when you're at the castle. Like I could not figure out what to do, and somehow there's like gloves and like something you got to pick up. Like I don't know. It was really confusing, but I beat Ganondorf by myself.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was it like Wind Waker was no Majora's Mask. I never beat. I never beat it, but I do love that game.
Fuck it, the horrifying moon kills everyone all the time.
Yeah.
Because Jay sucks at video games.
Have you seen, they have so there's like a Nicolas Cage obsession out there on the internet somewhere.
The man's a living meme.
Right? And so someone, it was either Super Mario, the old Nintendo system, or a racing game on the N64. Oh, nice, Chris.
Good to know, Chris.
Thank you for your contribution.
Heather was Super Mario. Yeah, I remember that. She used to actually be really dope at Super Mario World.
Height.
So what was I saying? Okay, Majora's Mask. So there's someone out there like went into the coding for Zelda.
I know what you're gonna say.
Majora's Mask, and then replaced every face with Nicolas Cage, including, and my favorite part, the moon. Like, just having Nicolas Cage,
creepy, insane smile face, too, wasn't it?
Having Nicolas Cage just at
you. To the end of the game where he's crashing to the fucking
at you. That's like the fact that someone like did that is just it just makes you love the internet and the world, and the fact that there's like people out there who are like, I mean, that guy probably worked a fucking grocery store job and like
codes in his spare time.
Yeah, codes, and he was just like, one day he's like, you know, it'd be hilarious, and then he gave that gift to the world.
The first video game I ever played was Tetris on the NES.
Really?
Yes.
Tetris.
I love Tetris.
So here's the thing, like growing up, I never did register Tetris as a game.
Really?
I think because it like ended up on cell phones and shit. So I don't know if like, I mean, it could have like, without me knowing it could have been my first.
Jay, at one point,
I don't know.
I was ranked in the top 1,000 in the world on Tetris Online.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was never a Tetris fan. So does that mean our logo means something special to you?
It does. I liked that it looked like Tetris blocks. I was a fan of it.
Okay. Well, because I was like, what's nerdy? Tetris is nerdy. What's nerdy and easy to translate into text? Tetris.
What about you, B? What was your first video game?
God, I don't know.
Speaking of
No, get it off my face.
Don't wave it in her face like a penis.
I think it's either Dig Dug or Burger Time.
Hell yeah.
Does anyone remember Burger Time?
Burger Time kicks ass.
I think I've heard of Burger Time.
The old clunky one.
Yeah.
It's like a simple, easy thing, but you walk across like the different toppings and try to drop them, and you've got like ketchup bottles and stuff like chasing you. It's like Pac-Man, but with burgers.
And then shit gets really intense. It goes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My favorite part was smushing the ketchup ball, the ketchup and the mustard. And the
Pac-Man with food feeds into my obesity sexuality. Like right there. Like,
Jay, please leave. Get out of your own house.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go home. So I'm gonna go to my new home. Good news. We're gonna be changing sets in a month and a half, maybe.
Score.
Downside is the room that we'll be moving into initially.
Tell me it's smaller. I'm gonna fucking hit
It's
you.
the same size.
Okay.
It's like the same fucking size.
I'm fine with that.
I'm not. I'm annoyed as the shit. But the good news is like that's temporary. So my goal is to actually. So my wife and I have had this debate. I use this office like every day. That spare bedroom we use like maybe twice a year. And so my argument was like, and when we have a kid someday, which that's in the plan. Like her immediate idea was that my office get dissolved, like it's gone. And I was like, no, I don't like that idea at all. So we've come to a compromise. What we're going to do is we're going to have the office in there. And the other thing that I was like, she's like, why don't you just, like, it's fine if you just film in there with the bed. And I'm like, it's not a fucking porno. Like, it's just real creepy. Like, hey, V, Drizzt, you guys want to come over and do a podcast? You walk in, there's a bed with lighting on it. Like, no, we're just going to sit on the bed. I promise. You'd be like, I'm out.
I have several questions.
So my plan is to build into the second biggest room. I want to build one of those beds that fucking come down from the wall.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
a Murphy bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're fucking called.
Murphy bed.
You could not think of it.
I want to make a Murphy bed. I want to build one. So for a while we'll be in that office, and then once the Murphy bed is complete and things look nice, then we'll slide into there.
The Green Bay room is unnecessary.
What about a futon?
I don't like food. Well, first of all, like, so this is like a bed that her parents are gonna have to sleep on, and like, it's like, hey, in-laws, come and sleep on my shitty futon. I think I'd actually like to put a futon in there just in case, like, and not for like when the in-laws are around, but like, well, if there's like a couple of your friends over and shit, you could have them, all packed into one room.
You can do a day bed too, and a day bed easily converts into a couch. And have you seen the day beds you can actually pull out and make it a queen size?
Oh, here's my thought on those are you talking about the couch beds?
Yeah.
Like those are a goddamn nightmare to move. Like they're the heaviest goddamn things I've ever paid. I used to have one. I got from my sister. My sister said, you have to move it. And I was like, oh yeah, fine. And then I moved it once. I was like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever had. And then
take an axe.
And then we gave it to someone else, and they took it, and they moved it. Yeah, we did. Were you there when I told you about my brother-in-law taking an axe to his Lucky and Wild machine? And I'm hoping he didn't, but I don't remember if he did with the arcade cabinet.
Please don't. Arcade cabinets are amazing.
I know, they're really cool. Let's see here. Or a couch with a pull-out bed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those things are a nightmare.
Are you kidding?
I'd rather take the time to build a Murphy bed.
Yeah.
Fucking hide a bed. Was
Was
that Chris? Chris, did you suggest
that? Was my sister.
Why? Why would you ever say that to another human? It's not 1973.
Those are heavy. Like, they're the devil.
Well, yeah, the pull-out couches, and on top of it, if you sleep on them, you actually will feel the bars.
Yeah, you do.
In your back.
I had to sleep on one every other weekend at my grandma Ma's house.
Yeah, they're painful. So Chris for Goodrich says, Drizzt, you need a game designer to make a game of Owen Wilson Crying Simulator.
You're goddamn right, Chris. I will pay him all of the money I have or ever will have to give me a realistic...
ever will have is more of a... Oh, look at V's shirt. Sorry, Steven Universe.
Damn, I thought Tommy was here.
No.
Son of bitch.
I got excited about the Steven Universe character. I was like, is that Rose? And then I was like, that's Lion.
Yeah.
Oh, they're it's cats.
Yeah.
It's delightful.
It's from Tea Turtle.
Oh, okay. Not an official sponsor of Tea Turtle, but hell. Steven
shirt's
Universe
pretty
cats. Yeah, Lapis Lazuli. Where's the Steven Universe cat?
He's right there.
Oh, there he is. He just looks like a person. He looks so much like a person because Steven, like all the other characters are kind of distinct, but Steven is like a very distinct character.
Well, yeah, he's
like,
the only one, you know, shaped and colored like a person.
That's true. Yeah.
Other than Greg.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
Connie.
Greg as a cat.
Oh, Greg cat would be cool. Would you like to see Greg, like present day Greg as a cat, or Mr. Universe Greg as a cat?
Both.
Okay.
I
Fair answer.
cosplayed Mr. Universe at Anime Iowa recently.
Yeah. Tell us about that. I want to hear.
I put on a t-shirt and some ripped jeans and wore flip-flops.
Did you do?
I put my hair down. And,
Did you do a
yeah.
voice? Can you do us your best
No.
Greg Universe voice? No.
No, I cannot.
Okay. So for those of you who haven't seen Steven Universe is
Delightful.
Yeah, it's on Cartoon Network. It's fantastic.
It's one of the only good things happening on Cartoon Network currently.
I agree with you. I really do. It's one of those shows, and I thought it was going to be one of those like Teen Titans Go shows when I first saw the
Season 1 was
animation.
touch and go.
Yeah.
And then they hit season 2 and shit hit the fan. It was amazing.
Well, so it does a really good job of having like this in-depth story lore, but also exploring maturity in characters, even
growing up.
Yeah, growing up, like that episode with Garnet where she's talking about like, Steven, I can't figure out where your future lies. You know, she's like, I just can't. And then she realizes like, oh, I've been looking at Steven as a small child, but Steven's grown up like recently. And so it's one of those things like, because when you take into account of probability, I mean, one little minor factor could throw everything
Jay,
off.
Please don't get me started on possible futures.
Oh God. Oh no.
Do you want me to rant for an hour and a half?
Maybe not rant for an hour and a half, but and so it was really interesting to explore maturity in that episode. But then there's like stuff with like Pearl and Rose relationship, like that's some really deep shit. Did you guys catch up?
The last one we saw was a single pale rose.
Okay, so you didn't catch up.
No, we're not.
Because I
caught
talked
up
to
yet.
you about it.
Yeah,
We've
we
been watching Wet World instead.
we've been watching Westworld.
Oh, Westworld.
Not a official sponsorship, but holy shit, watch Westworld, please.
I haven't gotten there
Wet
yet.
That show is
Oh.
amazing.
I need to watch Game of Thrones
HBO knows what the fuck they're doing, alright? That is
Yeah.
some quality fucking television.
And then you go over to Showtime and they give us a giant piece of shit.
Showtime and Stars just need to like...
Wait, which one?
Nah.
American Gods? You don't like American Gods? I think that's Stars.
Is it Stars?
It is Stars.
Yeah, it's Stars.
And they didn't do a very good job.
Which is ridiculous because Black Sails is a Stars one too.
Yeah,
Isn't
Black
it?
Sails is fucking great.
Showtime has fucking Shameless. Have you seen Shameless?
The last episode, I've seen episodes here and there, but the last episode I saw, it really stuck in my mind what it was called, and it's hashtag abortion rules. That was the
I
name
remember
of the
that episode, but I wonder if is that the one where Fiona.
It's the one where Debbie is.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. It's been out for like 3 years. Fuck you
There's
guys.
an entire 7 seasons on
Seriously.
Netflix. But they're like 10 episodes a season. I'm obsessed with Shameless,
It's
man.
the one where Debbie is thinking about, like, she finds out she's pregnant and she's thinking about getting an abortion, and then she doesn't.
I don't remember much about that episode.
Yeah, it was a filler episode. I just remember the name.
The problem I have with Shameless is it's recycling every season. It is the same basic storyline every season. Because I got to season like 3 or 4, and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm out. This is boring now.
Oh, you got to season. Oh man. So let's see here.
Can we talk about how Goku is in that series?
Wait, when's the last
Goku's in Shameless?
The last season that I saw is when What's His Butt went missing. And that's the last
Frank?
Yeah, when Frank went missing.
So
He does that a lot.
Well,
No, he
yeah, I
was
was
in
gonna
Mexico,
say.
I think.
I was gonna say which, because there's like another.
Which time?
Yeah, there's. So like, oh my god. Okay, so he goes to Mexico for a while. Then he goes on a drug binge, and you find out he's dying.
Mhm.
And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then. Then there's one where they throw him off a fucking bridge, and he goes, and he gets. He's in a coma and he wakes up and he realizes that nobody went looking for him and he gets so pissed off That is my favorite thing. Like when he finds out that nobody looked for him, and you see like Frank at his most furious, like he goes upstairs and locks himself in the bedroom and will not come out. He's like, "This is my house," and they're like, "Because I mean, are you really gonna go looking for the person you threw off a bridge?" No, but he's so pissed off. He's like, he expects that when they threw him off a bridge, that they did so lovingly and would still go looking for him. Like,
or that time Frank got kicked off of a commune.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was secretly growing opium.
But I think the whole idea of it being cyclical, I think that might be part of the theme, because it's this idea of struggling and trying to get out of...
Life sucks all the time.
Yeah,
forever.
You're trying to get out of this hellhole of life. And there's a reason why, like... So there's this argument of, like, people who are in shitty situations, and like, politically, people are like... Well, they put themselves there. They have the choice to leave if they. And this shows like the perfect example that like you have to fight like hell to make your situation better, especially in that type of situation.
Yeah,
like
having grown up in the blue collar workforce. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're blue collar. That's like fucking dirt poor Chicago. Upper, where do they live?
They don't live in an upper anything.
They don't live in an upper. It's like lower.
They're not even lower middle class. I'd say they were probably like below the poverty line.
They're way below the poverty line.
They live in.
It's. I'm just trying to think of the definite what the term. Yeah, it is the hood, but like, what's the term? It's where they live. I don't know. It's just. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. But that's what I love about the show. And just the fact that, like, Frank, like, whoever writes that show does an amazing job of finding ways to make Frank a worse person.
He's just a piece of shit forever.
Like, my favorite episode, and what really explains the character of Frank, is, like, when he does something horrible and he feels really, really bad, and he goes to the church and he's praying, and you're like, oh, there's hope for Frank yet. And then he looks over and he sees the collection box and he fucking takes it. And you're like, no, there's not. There's really no hope for Frank.
There was like that half-season stint where Frank was actually a decent human being. Remember when his girlfriend died of cancer, killed herself in Hawaii?
Yeah.
He stopped drinking except for 8 ounces of beer every 24 hours.
But you gotta remember, like, when he was still a decent human being, he was still a prick.
Yeah, he was an ass, but he wasn't like actively shitting on everyone.
Jay got my hope up for a shirt. Not Tommy, that's MIA. We need to send out a search team for Dufresne, party of 5. Dufresne, party of 5.
I think the worst part of Frank is when he starts shoving things up his ass.
Well, how else are you gonna traffic drugs?
No, that's the only way that he could take them.
Oh.
That was the last season I think I watched. I don't remember.
So when he goes to Mexico, you find out that he has like the biggest, like he can like fit the most narcotics in his butt.
Yeah, but then he got really sick, and they said if he
world record holder Frank
Gallagher ate anymore or something like that, that he would die. And so he starts shoving them up his ass. And I'm over here like, God.
Yeah, there's a whole season where he's like actually so like he's about to die, and they tell him like you have to give everything up, and I think that's one of the things he tries is shoving things up his butt for a while, which shucks his system out even faster.
Yeah, they take that the beer funnel, and they shove it up his ass and pour the beer down.
Never.
I'm just like, oh my
Shameless.
God.
It's that show is Shameless. Couches in bed make happy, especially with lamps at the end. Oh, yeah, no, my sister's... So, a long time ago, I stayed at my sister's house in California. She lived in Monterey. And I went there, and we were... Like, I was sleeping on her couch, and they just... Like, as a joke, they're like, don't break anything. Yeah, and they went to bed. And I flipped over, and my foot caught the lamp that was next to the thing, and just... I heard it shatter. And they wake up to me going... Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! and the lamp's broken all over the floor, and they're like, it's fine, we were joking, like we didn't know that you'd actually break something, but it's fine. So that was the funniest thing. But yeah, so we started this tangent by saying Showtime had Shameless.
Yeah, well
American Gods has stars, which you guys don't like. American Gods.
It seems like they filmed the series backwards, frontwards, because the last about 2-3 episodes are really good, and then you get to the first episode, and the special effects are absolute shit.
They make you want to barf.
Yeah,
that's interesting, because like every review I've heard of American Gods outside of your guys is like singing the praises.
They're fucking liars.
They're fucking liars.
Like, if you get it, I mean, it's
stick it out.
Here, how about this? Read the book.
Yeah, it is a book.
So my philosophy on books, television, and movies.
Yeah.
Television and movies or fan fiction?
Well, always watch that stuff first. Always watch first and then read second, because then you're happy twice. And the what I base this off of is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I saw that movie first. I thought that was amazing. And then I read the book and I realized that the movie was still really great, but the book is just way better. And this idea that had I read the book first, I would have been super jaded and definitely had bad things to say about the movie. But the movie was great. The movie's what got me in, and then I read all 5 books to the trilogy. I mean,
Saga.
What?
If it's more than 3, it's a saga. Jack.
Have you don't get the joke, do you? That's Douglas Adams. That was his intentional.
Oh,
he said
he was being an ass.
Yeah, he wrote 5 books to his trilogy. What he always. Gotcha. That's what he says. It's like, oh, it's the 5 books to the trilogy. It's the same inside joke as like 42. Oh, yeah. Also, what's really funny? So when I filmed my first one of my first intros for the Faces of Grinnell project, I brought my copy of Hitchhiker's Guide. I've got the complete series. I brought it with me, but if you, the funny thing is like they designed it around a Bible, so it has like gold leaf pages, black leather cover, everything. So it looks like I'm reading the Bible. And I never thought about it. I was like, oh, this would be great. People will see, oh, he's reading Hitchhiker. And then I was like, they're all gonna think I'm just reading the Bible. Like,
awesome.
We haven't even finished American Gods. Book.
No, we haven't.
It's just based on the graphics and their budget. They could have done better.
And Gillian fucking Anderson isn't coming back for season 2, and I'm really mad about it.
So yeah, that's I did hear that's like a big bummer is that she's not coming back for season 2. I don't know. I just like I've been trying to watch things, but I've been focusing more on like what's on TV. Or what's on like Netflix and stuff.
Who watches the TV?
Sorry, I don't watch the TV. My wife watches she watches the news in the morning. I don't. If you guys want to know like where I get all of my news now from, it's either Philip DeFranco. He does like a daily news.
I know who Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, he tries to be extremely non-biased. So so if you watched Philip DeFranco even like 5-6 years ago, he was kind of a
That's about when I stopped watching him.
It's weird. I was about to say dick wiggle.
It's kind of an insult.
He's just fucking goofy and weird and shit. And I mean, it was all about like, he'd get clickbait views like, oh, look at boobs, but he did his hottie of the day or something, and then he switched over to news, and now he does like very like. I mean, he basically like he smoothly transitioned into doing just news.
So, do you watch SourceFed as well?
I used to when it existed.
It doesn't exist anymore?
Have you not heard about? Oh man, SourceFed is a huge scandal. Okay, so talk about. Okay, so it started off with I was religiously watching SourceFed when it started.
Fucking Steve Zaragoza, Lee Newton, Joe fucking Beretta,
and
Ian or something.
No, Elliot Morgan. So it started off with them, and they slowly transitioned into SourceFed Nerd, where Steve Zaragoza kind of branched off with Meg Turney. And
Steve works for the Nerdist now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so happy about that. Just small thing.
So anyway, so Meg Turney and Trisha Hirschberger. So when those two came on, they went with Steve and started SourceFed Nerd.
Yeah.
So SourceFed existed for a long time, and then all three of those hosts decided they're going to branch out. So they replaced them with new hosts. SourceFed Nerd had the same thing, except for Steve stuck around.
Yeah. And
it kind of grew and changed and stuff. There was shit on there that I absolutely loved. On SourceFed Nerd, I followed 100%. I used to watch when I think SourceFed fell apart when they decided to diversify, and they went from their 20 minutes or less content to just, we'll do the news, like, we're fuck this format thing. And then once they lost their format, they lost my interest. But SourceFed Nerd was always interesting. They did shit where, like, they would watch all the DC superhero shows and talk about them once a week.
Nice.
That was so cool. They would review every movie and stuff like that. That was apparently a lot for them to do, because they'd have to change the set, like, and it became a lot of work. So they ended up stopping that. But then they did, every episode they did something called Table Talk, where they would have hosts, or they would have viewers send in questions, and they'd answer the questions. They did a lot of really interesting stuff. And then they started switching out those hosts, and they switched out the new hosts on SourceFed, and they had this weird eclectic group of people that just, like, were, I mean, I hate to say it, to me, they were just unappealing. Like, I'm sorry, just unappealing. Tommy got back to me. His dog escaped, and I had to catch him. He's on his way.
This is why we have cats.
My dog escaped.
We like, so for like the past 2 weeks, it's been like, oh shit, I slept, or oh shit, I got a new phone and my alarm didn't set off, so I slept through. But now my dog escaped, which is a Tommy thing. He's like, gone. I gotta get him. And now he's walking here.
Now he's walking.
I'm sorry, Tommy. So anyway, so SourceFed, so things got, like, really fucking weird. So Philip DeFranco sold his portion of SourceFed way early on, and they were owned by, I think it was whenever Philip, like, joined, and SourceFed and SourceFed Nord, I think, all joined Discovery Digital as, like, a company acquisition, and then eventually they sold SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd off to a whole different company. And that was when Phil actually branched out. Like, he belongs to himself again. He ended up, because for a while there, he had to, like, stick with a strict set of guidelines and stuff. And then he was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, this is my channel. So he broke off, bought his own channel, and now he's doing everything for himself. He's a millionaire now.
Good for him.
Yeah. So, and he's been on for 10 years. Can you believe that? That's old ass YouTube age.
I mean, the only person I could think of that's been on longer than him is TJ Kirk.
I have no idea who that is, but still.
He's one of my favorite YouTubers, but a lot of people don't like him.
Oh.
He used to be known as the Amazing Atheist.
So, get this. SourceFed Nerd gets sold off. Then they get shut down.
Oh, wow, why?
Because they weren't making money.
Ah.
That was the truth. And it was because all of their SourceFed and SourceFed Nerd crew, first of all, SourceFed Nerd was, like, weird. They weren't even doing, like, nerd news anymore. Like, there were points where, like, Serena Scully was on there for a while, and she tried to do a video game channel on her own, which didn't, like, they didn't talk about video games. They played, like, weird ass, like, anime shit, like the point click, and then they played, like, so every now and then they play something.
Story, Cyber Sleuth.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was, like, the most eclectic, like, weird, like, point and click anime one, like, sometimes on the borderline of overly sexual and stuff like that for comedy purposes.
Jay, do you want to know something?
What?
A storyline arc that's in Digimon Cyber Sleuth?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. There's a point in that game where there are some high-tech sex dolls that are trying to kill people through the internet.
Interesting.
This is a children's game about Digimon.
So
Carry on.
Their focus was really shitty. They got rid of that show where they talked about that, which was the only thing I was watching at that time. And just the people that they chose were, like, kind of unappealing and a little weird. But at a level of SourceFed.
That should be our tagline. Unappealing and
a little weird. Anyways, So they got sold off and shut down. They just said, like, you're not making any money. Sorry.
Sucks
So
to be
then, have you seen the Now This News?
Yeah.
They bought SourceFed Nerd.
Mm.
They bought the channel.
Okay.
So all the people are fired. Everything's done. They just started making Now This. They made a branch called Now This Nerd, and tried to launch it off of SourceFed Nerd channel with the millions of subscribers, and they just were like, ta-da! And so when I say that the people beforehand were a little unappealing and weird, and say this, Matt Lieberman, DJ Wooldridge, and Sam Basher, those were my favorite people on SourceFed Nerd that were still around at that point. Now, Matt Lieberman was doing more behind the scenes stuff, and so was DJ Wooldridge, but Sam Basher was still in front of the camera. Maude Garrett was pretty good on there too. However, they didn't have any of those people return. I say unappealing but weird. Now, this new level of the Now This Nerd people were the highest form of unappealing I have ever seen. And weird. Like, well, so there's, there was an African American gentleman who I think from like head to toe would be fine, except for he had a creep stash.
The pencil stash.
And I'm just saying, not even a pencil stash. It was just a shittily shaven mustache. Like, it's just pubic, just starting to grow.
He didn't really try that hard.
And I'm like, where's the producer who saw that guy and was like, let's keep that mustache? That guy walks in and I'd have been like, shave that bitch. Like, you're on TV, buddy.
Toss a razor at him.
Yeah, just no shaving cream. You deserve the punishment.
You gotta do it dry.
Dry shaving.
He doesn't even get a sing. You fucking monster.
Fuck that guy. So then there was this lady who, I think she would have been fine. But she was like wearing like a librarian sweater.
You mean like a cardigan?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say a librarian sweater. That's what I'm gonna stick to. But anyways, it's just like one of those, like, she didn't like it. Just like when you're trying to appeal to a certain audience, like, you gotta put a little effort in, and it looked like she didn't make much effort. Like, she's just like, I just got off the couch today from reading, and I'm gonna do my thing. And then there was this guy.
You're wearing jorts right now.
Fuck, I'm doing a shitty podcast in my thing with like 11 people watching. I'm not taking over a 1 million subscription service and just expecting like, this is growth. Like, but I'm just saying, like when they, like, in comparison to the platform beforehand. So, like, SourceFed Nerd, this is the beginning of my evaluation. I'm not finished, but SourceFed Nerd had like, everyone was kind of like trendy, but to a level of like, it looked manufactured, but not too manufactured. Like, it was casual.
Steve always seemed like he legitimately, like, he knew how he was dressing. He looked like if you like think of a nerd, Steve Zergos. It's like, who's the nerd in this room? Everyone points at Steve.
But I'm not kidding. Then there's this guy, right?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So, he had like this like giant blonde curly fro.
All right.
That was like, he like did a side ponytail with it, with like a fucking 90s scrunchie. And then he wore, it just looked like somehow he took his grandma's knitted blanket and wrapped it around him and sewed it into a shirt and pants.
What I'm hearing is he's a hipster douche.
I'm not like the level of hipster douche, but like the most unsettling and uncomfortable of a hipster douche.
It's like, he might stab me.
Not even he might stab me. It's like he might die from coffee overdose. Like,
I can tell you from personal experience, there's no such thing.
I'm not kidding. That guy would be the one that did it, and you'd just be looking like, oh, we all expected it.
So we're coming.
Like, we won't feel sad. We'll just more be like, that's a bummer. He's a like this guy makes me so mad every time I saw him, because I was like, what is your problem? Like when I saw, and then so to get into like deep production discussion, the thing about SourceFed Nerd that was the most impressive was between their set and lighting design.
Son of a bitch, I forgot you went to theater and film school.
Right. so they have a really good like set lighting design.
Yeah.
So their colors were so well done. They popped. They had this great blue with like my favorite color of green that just popped. And the way they designed it was amazing. So then cut to now this nerd taking over. And like their backdrops are like between full brown and beige.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Like, it's just this thing, like, it's just this level of execution that was just so poorly done.
How's the lighting?
The lighting was alright. I would say the lighting was okay. But just the color selection just made me want to throw up. And so I think the problem is like, you can argue the ethics of buying a 1 million subscription base where other people put in the effort and the work.
And then changing the name and sending out videos.
Changing in the name, like firing all the people, changing the name, and then having completely different people come in. But I think if you're gonna do it, and if you have any chance of success, you have to be able to sort of replicate some of the magic. And picking these half-assed, unappealing people who fucking got off their couch, threw a scrunchie in their fro, and stepped out to do this. Forgetting to shave, by the way.
Unsettling mustache.
This guy was like unsettling fro. Like, I can't wait to show you a picture of this. You know, fuck it.
Fuck it, I'm Googling it.
And people flipped out. Like, they... Now this nerd hosts. Yeah. So
yeah.
So everyone flipped out, and like the what's funny is the main producer they hired. This guy like looks semi-normal, but he came out with a whole video that's like, and his intro to the video, the first video that they made was like, now, I know some of you are gonna be upset. But this is the main producer.
He looks like a normal guy.
He looks like a dude. He was the most appealing of them all.
That's a person.
Yeah, I mean, and
how do you say his first name?
I have no idea. Ale, maybe? Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
Weird.
So he comes up. Here we go. Yeah. So okay, so this is what he fucking wore. So imagine his big fro is in this weird side scrunchie, right? And then he wore this shirt, and I think like a brown sweater over it. Like these weird pattern shirts, brown sweater, fucking weird pants. Like even weirder pants.
You can't find the fro.
No, he's right there.
I don't have the fro, but this is him. Like, imagine... He's
got it in a man bun right now, that piece of shit. Also, unsettling mustache over here.
Unsettling
Jesus
mustache. God. And Sweater Lady looks... Okay. She's got a very she reminds me a lot of Rachel at the theater.
Yes, actually. Quite a bit.
Her features and the way she dresses and stuff. However, and guys, this is... Oh shit. Just so you know, this is what we're looking at here.
Them's people. You're good. You're in focus.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I was checking.
That's what we're looking at here. And they're like, it's one of those things where it's like, and automatically, like the second week of production, you could see they had done better. But I mean, just that first week. I mean, and so they did about 2 weeks and they were done. Yeah. And then they started their own Now This Nerd channel and deleted all of those videos off of SourceFed Nerd. But that's what that's the ballad of what happened to SourceFed.
Wow, that sucks because that was one of my favorite fucking news sources in high school.
Yeah, no, SourceFed was a lot of... I was watching that actually in the basement at college. So we had like a classroom in the basement at the theater. Yeah. And that's where I would just like whenever I was studying and stuff, because you could hang out there like 24/7. So
Joe Beretta is a beautiful human being.
oh yeah, Joe's awesome. The entire cast is awesome. Did you know they're doing a podcast together now? All of them are back together, including Steve.
Delightful.
Look up the Valley Folk. The Valley Folk is the original SourceFed group. They're doing a podcast together now, including Steve Zaragoza. All four of them: Lee Newton, Elliot Morgan, Joe Beretta, Steve Zaragoza. All four of them are together.
I love it.
Trisha Hirschberger works for. I feel like she works for the Nerdist.
I never super liked her.
Or the Escapist, maybe.
I think she's working for the Escapist.
I think it's the Escapist.
I mean, I can look it up. Probably subscribe.
Meg Turney's like a cosplayer now.
Yeah, Meg Turney was dating Gavin Free from Achievement Hunter for a while. I think, or did they get married?
Is he on Rooster Teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still together. Did you hear about they almost got?
Yeah, I heard about their turbulent, the turbulence in their relationship.
No, there's a dude who fucking broke into their house and held them hostage. Yeah, he broke in and held them hostage.
What?
Luckily, I think the police were called in time before anything happened.
Why?
But he was obsessed with Meg Turney and hated Gavin.
How can you hate Gavin?
Because he was with Meg Turney and not him.
Okay, I get that. But
no, I mean, I said that wrong, but you get what I mean.
He hated Gavin because he couldn't have him.
So he held them hostage.
No, but seriously, if you've ever listened to Gavin Free talk about anything ever,
I haven't. I'll be honest.
He's delightful. He's from across the pond.
So to start this though, I've been watching Phil, and then I'm also now obsessed with Joe Rogan. Which
I'm all right with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, well, so it's less about Joe than the people that Joe brings on. So I was literally just watching a video of Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about his thoughts on his perspective, not his opinion, just his analysis of Stephen Hawking's view of if aliens were to come here, they would automatically try to colonize us and murder us. And Neil deGrasse Tyson had an analysis of that, and then he also had an analysis of Stephen Hawking fully believed that we really need to get on the ball of getting onto 2 planets, so that if one planet is destroyed, then at least the human species survives. And this is paraphrasing what Neil deGrasse Tyson says, but he says he's like, if we have the ability to move 1 billion people to Mars and colonize it, it would actually be easier and make more sense to put that energy into just fucking deflecting the meteor that would wipe us out, or anything that would get us. He's like, it would be easier to tackle all of those issues and stopping them from killing all of us than moving. So if something does get us, he's like, if we get to the level where we can terraform and colonize 1 billion people onto Mars, he's like, because that's what it's going to take, is 1 billion people. He's like, we'll easily be able to stop any threat from taking us out. He's like, and at much less cost of resource and effort to just put out a net that would see a meteor coming and blow it out of this, deflect it or blow it up before it would get to us, and create a virus, create an antivirus that would protect everything.
A Skynet, if you will.
But he fully believes that that's the case.
It's more probable than terraforming, because even if we had the technology to terraform, it would take hundreds of years to do that.
And he says by the time we get to that point, we'd have already had the resources to cure all disease and deflect meteors.
The basic process of terraforming is pretty damn simple.
And he also doesn't think about, it's the resource management.
Yep.
The amount of resources that takes, and the scientific effort, and the fact that we'd all have to bond together to do that.
Good fucking luck, dude.
Yeah, good luck. We're going to have an easier time putting up a Skynet.
You know what we could do? If there's ever a meteor that comes, we could just put Trump in a rocket and send it, and he could just go...
negotiate it away.
I returned
for making grab its pussy.
I returned for making a deal with the meteor.
So, as a semi-related thing, I was watching Jim Jeffries, and he has an amazing bit about what grabbing a pussy means. Excuse my language. Oh, fuck it. But
It's your sister and Christopher.
he goes, "What does it
Goodrich."
even mean? What does it even mean?" He's like, to grab a. He's like, you can't. He's like, you have to, like, you can palm a pussy. He's like, it's an inward thing. He's like, see, think about this. If I ever said to you, "Can I grab I grabbed her belly button," you'd be like, "What?"
How?
Yeah, how? He's like, it's an inward thing, and he goes, it would have to be, and then he gets descriptive from there. So, check it out, Jim Jeffries. He just put a new special on Netflix, and it's entertaining.
I love that, man.
He's amazing, and he did another amazing show.
It comes from a down under.
So, so to stay like slightly less political, because I think the best thing we can do for the world at this point is to like deflect and talk about happy shit, like nerd shit.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my opinion. That's what I just think that, like,
We can super totally not go political on this channel.
there's too much shit out there.
It's just gonna turn into the three of us bitching about it for 3 hours.
Yeah, bitching about something or arguing. Like, it could be bitching or arguing, but it's just one of those things.
I'm fairly certain the three of us all have very similar political views.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But
Yeah, if we all agree that our fearless leader is a piece of garbage, like he's Trash on Fire on Ice the musical.
Drizzt GF is a genius. That's for my sister. I don't know. Is that the same Now This Politics on Facebook? Yeah, Heather, that's the same. It's Now This, and then they did a Now This Nerd.
They have Now
And
This they have Now This Weed to tell you about weed stuff. I only know this because I saw it in passing.
But the thing is if all those Now This things exist, there's a note to be taken from the fact that, like, they understand diversification and being able to profit from that, where SourceFed did not.
Dude, I gotta say,
SourceFed had like millions of, like, it had a million some odd subscribers, and then still got shut down. So Now This knows something that SourceFed doesn't, and it's too bad that Now This couldn't. And I think part of it was production costs. Like, it really was production costs. And then they were complaining because SourceFed was filmed in California, and Now This is actually like filmed in New York. So
I'm pretty sure like a lot of the Now This videos I see are just clip shows, like, with information and pictures.
Yeah,
that's a good way of, like, conveying information.
And it's easier to watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's much easier.
You don't get unsettling mustache, messy man bun, or weird librarian. So
I don't want to call her weird librarian. I think I just like librarian. Like, if the librarian showed up, and because I don't have a problem with her or a beef with her. Like, if anything, like, you could comment on her looks, but I don't think that that's like a fair thing. Like, if you're able to hold the camera and do a good job, that's fine. However, if you're like, your messy man bun, like, that's a choice.
clean it up, man.
That's a fucking choice.
I mean, I'm aware my hair's not, like, always pristine.
But we're not standing in front of 1 million subscribers, hijacking a channel and saying, "We're here, like us." Like, there's nothing.
You might be a little pissed off.
Yeah, and I think our personalities carry a little over our looks, where those people's personalities did not. I mean, like, their looks were loud.
We're two goofy-looking motherfuckers.
Our looks aren't that loud either. No. Like, we're not like, that was the thing. Like, those three people were loud, like, in their appeal.
They chose to look a certain way, and they couldn't follow it up with their personality.
Yeah, and so I just remember watching that because I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I watched it. I was like, when that guy popped up, because, like, the lady popped up, and I'm like, okay,
I can deal with that.
And then the dude popped up with a mustache, and I'm like, maybe someone will tell him to shave. And then the dude with the man bun popped up.
I'm out.
And I didn't even go out. I just couldn't look away. I was like,
That's the sound of a man drowning on dry land. Jay, it's time to stop.
It was the worst thing I'd ever seen as a like, I would have been the biggest, and you could tell, like, you look at that guy's the producer, right? You saw the producer.
Yeah, he looks normal.
Yeah, he looks normal, but also, do you see that guy, like, telling people, like, you need to clean up. Like, I don't think so. I think that guy was just too nice. Like, they came in, he saw him, and he might have thought, oh, damn, but he just went,
Roll camera, damn.
You gotta have a guy that comes in and says, like, shave your fucking mustache. Here's a razor, no shaving cream.
You gotta drive all it, dude.
You deserve this punishment. Looks at the lady like, can you not wear a librarian sweater? Like, actually, I think that's the strong, because then you're gonna be, and maybe that's where they were coming from, is they're trying to appeal to a wider audience, like the librarians,
creepy people, and fucking hipsters.
Well, so like, I mean, you know how hard it is to get Rachel. Like, can you imagine like trying to get her to watch Source Fed Nerd?
I couldn't imagine getting Rachel to watch anything that's not a weird AMV.
Or what's that? The lip reading.
Oh, bad lip reading.
Bad lip reading. Rachel will go for hours on bad lip reading.
I know.
I'm not kidding. So like, but I mean, that lady might appeal more to her than anyone else, you know.
Relatable character.
However, unsettling mustache.
I mean, he'd only relate to Tommy about a month ago.
No, I don't even think so. Like, I think even Tommy would be like, "Don't
Tommy
touch
had a better mustache than him."
Yeah, and then the man bun, which I'm like,
get out of my country.
I'm not even saying get out of my country. I'm just saying like what?
Why?
Like, you are purposely a car wreck. Like he chose to grow that hair, stick it in a gross man bun. Like, it literally looked like he was like,
good enough,
and then like dressed himself in some frumpy ass hipster shit. And it's like, you know, like, style is a balance. You know, like, you don't want to look like you're trying too hard. I don't know what's going on.
What the fuck?
There's people walking out there.
Oh, okay.
So this is the main, and you can actually watch over by my fence there. People hop that all the time and come through.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure that someone who hopped that fence is the one who slashed my car tire.
Ah.
Which is why we're getting a house. Like,
yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're right next to, like, the bad part of town.
Mm-hmm.
I heard there was a meth lab that exploded in that trailer park, and I heard it from Tama.
When was that?
A few, like, a year and a half ago.
Okay, I was gonna say, I've heard they've been improving it.
They're working on it, but
yeah. However, it
takes time.
It takes time, and that time I've been here this whole time. Like, yeah. So I've decided, and the neighborhood we're moving to is like a really quiet, very mellow neighborhood.
Fuck you guys, I love David Bowie.
Don't face the strain. David Bowie? That's David Bowie?
Yeah, dude.
So when I first heard it, I heard the Shrek soundtrack version.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say fucking Hillary Duff, and I was gonna punch you in the fucking chops, man. Like, fuck you, dude.
I've never spent time listening to Hillary Duff. Let's see what. No, they post a lot of live videos of things going on. Like, I watched a Parliament session in Britain the other day, and they usually air press conferences live. Oh, that's interesting.
That's right.
Christopher Goodrich, a librarian, hipster, and a 90s porn stash star starts in a channel. It wasn't even a 90s porn stash, Chris. Like,
he looks like a guy who actively touches children. Like, recreationally.
Like, it's not a grown mustache. Like, I can respect a grown mustache. Like a porn stash.
Think about, like, the mustache your friend had when you were in 10th grade and he thought he was hot shit.
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
That one when you see a 15-year-old kid when he first grows a mustache and he's like, and you're like, I'm gonna punch you right in that mustache.
I'm gonna hold you down and shave that fucker off.
It's frustrating.
Are you alright over there? You look like you're fading a little bit.
I'm tired.
She's tired.
Like 2 hours of sleep.
I stayed up till about 2. I finished Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I'm just kidding.
Have you guys heard of or seen that?
What?
The Marvelous Miss Maisel. It is it's a Amazon Prime original.
Okay.
It has, I mean, I guess the biggest star would be Tony Shalhoub.
Who the fuck is that?
Monk.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So, but so it's about it's set in the 1950s. It's a wonderful era piece, but it's about a lady who becomes a stand-up comic. And so it's interesting because, like, it starts off, she's married She has 2 kids. She's like trying to be the perfect wife. Her husband wants to be a comedian, and he goes out and he does stuff, but he steals like Bob Hope material and shit, and he's just really pathetic. And then the lady who plays Lois on Family Guy, she is the lady who like sets up the acts for the comic shows in that place that he goes regularly. So you first see her and she's like looking at him like it's full of shit. And Midge, Ms. Maisel, Midge comes in and she like bribes the main guy who will set up the times with brisket every week. Like she brings in her homemade brisket and then he gives the guy a good time even though he's a shit comic. So like he bombs really bad one night, like really, really bad. She encourages him to try like, this unique material, like talk about like these moths ate holes in his sweater. So he looks kind of dumb and shit. So she encourages him to talk about that and he bombs. And so he gets home and he decides like, I'm not happy with my life. And he leaves her. So she's wrecked. And that is like the first episode is all that first night where she gets just hammered drunk on wine, goes out to the club like in her nightie and does an act. And it becomes like this legendary act. And she gets arrested at the end of it because of public indecency. Like there's one point where she takes her top off and she's like, who wouldn't want this? Like, but she's so good. And it's just about this like extremely strong and powerful woman who like, just from her personality alone, who kind of finds like she doesn't realize how powerful and strong she really is, and so she finds her footing with that and direction of going things on her own. And then you kind of see like him developing as a character, as like he's realizing how much of a schmuck he is and what he did and how much he's lost. So this is really interesting. And Tony Shalhoub plays her dad, and he's dead on fantastic. Like so she's from a Jewish family, and like Tony Shalhoub's like the best part. Like there's a part where like spoilers, sorry. By the way, this won like a whole bunch of Emmys and shit, I think. Yeah, whatever the last awards season was, it won. I could probably bring it up real quick. Because they say they have it on the actual advertisement for the thing on Amazon Prime now. But it's like 10 episodes. I've been really getting into 10 episode series. Like 10 episodes is perfect.
You want 10 episodes? Watch Westworld.
What world?
Yeah, nominated for 14 Emmy Awards.
Holy shit.
It's great.
That's impressive.
And so like Tony Shalhoub, like the best part is she's like, okay, like she goes, Dad, I just want to tell you, like, I'm thinking about getting back together with Joel. And him and the mother have gotten into a fight. And so the mother took his office and moved everything out into the smallest room possible and put a big ass dining room in his office and just sat there in his office dining room eating the whole time, just like, fuck you, and locked the doors and locked him out. And so his study gets put into this corner, and so he has all of his books and his desk and all of his shit is just barricaded. And like he comes out of the barricade and he's like, are you kidding me? And she's like, what? Didn't you want us back together? And he goes, after all of this, like, I've come in and you have ruined everything. He's like, you have, like, your mother and I are fighting. She has moved my study into this room. This is all because of this, and you want it to be not for in vain? You just want to get back together with him? And he's like, ah! Like he goes into this like rant mode of a broken man, like a broken intellectual, just like flipping out. She's like realizing like what she's done, like
screaming at the sky for answers.
He's just so frustrated, and it's just a brilliant performance from Tony Shalhoub that's extremely funny. Like I was dying when I saw that. Like it was the middle of the night. I have to like muffle myself so my wife doesn't wake up to me just hysterically laughing. That's why I don't play South Park Stick of Truth in the middle of the night. It's because that game cracks me up.
One of my favorite,
I audibly LOL. Like
one of my favorite jokes from that game. It's an achievement you can get called "Finding Jesus as a Jew."
Oh, if you're a Jew,
Jesus is Kyle.
Oh,
You get an achievement.
I found Jesus, and the thing that made me laugh the hardest is when I used his first summons. And I mean, this is a joke from South Park, so it's fine. But he comes down from the sky with black sunglasses on and an AK-47, and he goes and wipes everyone out, and then and he's just like, it's saving time, and jumps back into the sky like, whoa, and gone. And I was laughing as loud as I could because it was the funniest thing. Like, it's so South Park, but it was like the perfect thing from like something about Jesus with an AK-47. Sorry about the sacrilegion, but
M60
I don't care.
For Jesus.
It was so funny.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, he does that imagination line.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
Butters is floating around as the chosen one, and he goes, and an M60 for Jesus. And then Jesus has a heavy machine gun, and he fucking murders the xenomorph from Alien. It's rad.
It's I don't know. Oh, so Heather, I just want to ask, let me get back onto YouTube and check the comments because I'm fucking up here.
The fuck?
What?
Jay?
She needs a pillow and a blanket quickly. No. Oh, like Ethan's? I don't know what that means, but
I have to go to work in 45 minutes. So
his
I'm
mustache.
screwed.
His mustache, not like his mustache. My nephew has like the starts of a mustache, but it's not even like that. Like, imagine a grown 20-year-old man does that. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's a kid can't help it.
Imagine
usually.
my mustache, but worse.
Yours is almost like, it reminds me of like Fu Manchu a little bit.
It's funny. He's got the beard, and then the mustache is just like.
It tried.
I've been growing this for 18 months.
Oh my god. Oh wow. Listen, at least you don't have the curse of like my mustache like wants to jump into my mouth. Like,
Yeah,
it curls
down.
out, and then you're like talking, you're like, it's awful. So
Victorian teacups.
what were you talking about, V being a genius, though? That's what I wanted you to clarify
I would also
on
like
that.
you to elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about
Not
that.
that I disagree. I would just like to.
We don't disagree. We just want to know specifically. We want to be able to explore the comment. Oh, you know what? By the way, Chris, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that I've served Chris from time to time.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. So I'm chilling out, and I see I see this guy. Like, I serve this family, and the family shows up all the time without him.
Yeah.
But and I see this kid with like red hair, and I'm like, oh, and I'm kind of going about my day. And as he's leaving, he looks at me and he goes, and I was like, nah. And so I did the sneaky spy thing that I do is when I'm bringing his mom up, I looked at her last name on the card and it said Goodrich, and I'm like, is that Chris? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, Chris watches my podcast like all the time. I said, tell him I said hi.
He never misses an episode.
He doesn't. You don't. Wow. To be fair, Chris, I don't think you watched our writing one, but we didn't announce that.
No, we didn't. It's just a thing we did.
Speaking of, guys, if you guys want, so we did a 3.
It was a 4-hour
actually
podcast.
no. It turns out it was only 3-hour podcast.
Oh, okay.
I was looking up the actual time. I don't know why.
It said 3:59.
Yeah, it looked like 4 hours, but so we have a 2-hour podcast, which I'm actually going to try and put up the video chunks of each idea on YouTube, but I have to do some editing for that. But if you want to just watch the whole 3-hour stint straight, we have for 2 hours we talk about like 6 ideas that I have for like a writing project, and Drizzt here is helping me. What?
One of which involves
By the way, I came up with an idea after he got home. Dio
as in
Dio?
Ronnie James
versus zombies.
Alright, so it's like Dio and he's got to fight vampire werewolves from, hell that are also Nazis.
Oh. So
You're confused. I'm guessing you're not a Dio fan.
I have not. Oh, she said to throw Trump in front of a meteor. She goes, and I also agree. So no, I have not. I want to explore this idea more. He's alive!
Holy shit! Tommy's here!
He's wearing an umbrella shirt. I wonder if he had to fight zombies to get out. You want to come in?
Like, total props.
We have a chair set up in the corner.
Total props to Umbrella Corp because they didn't have to get to the Z virus to kill the world.
I had to fight my dog. Yeah, I heard you had to coach your dog
onto a lawn or something, dude. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Do you have where's that microphone?
It's down here.
Clip it onto him. Clip this onto his ass. Is he in the camera?
Oh, wait, hold on. Stand over.
He's
Where?
barely hidden by... Okay, yeah, we can see him. Okay, we're good. Okay. He's good. So we did a writing podcast where we kind of explored ideas, and then next round, which by the way, I'm gonna tell this in front of everybody too, because they should know as well, but so Monday is fucked for me.
Monday is fucked.
Yeah, unless you want to do Monday, like, are you interested in the idea of doing earlier morning Monday?
How early?
Like, I would say 8 a.m.
Oh,
is that?
Fuck me, dude.
Is that even
Don't sleep that day, Nate.
physically
yeah, fuck it, I just won't
possible?
sleep. It'll be fine.
Go to
So,
bed until like 5, 6 in the morning.
so here's my problem.
All right, what's up?
So I forgot that I actually have to work 11 to 2. And then working on this whole house thing, we have to call inspectors and stuff. So the only time we could work it out is for an inspector to show up from... This inspector has to come on Monday around... Well, he goes in early, but we have to be there at 3, the last hour, so he can walk us through and talk to us what he's seen. And then at 5, we have like a big-ass barbecue for my work that like I have to go to, which I'm not complaining about because there's like really good food. Really good food. No. So Monday like quickly went from being like, oh, I can make this work to
Can you do Tuesday?
Again,
Tuesday is fun.
8 o'clock. Other than that, I work a 9-hour shift on Tuesdays, so I'm like, fuck the world.
Do you have a day that's open that isn't Wednesday? Unless, do you want to do a isolated 5 hours of podcasting in one day, Jay?
I mean, it's up to you. I don't really fucking care.
I mean, I don't give a shit.
It doesn't sound like you want to wake up early, so that's the.
You see, the thing is, I have insomnia, so I don't sleep very much. So honestly, it would just be better for me to not sleep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I just want to be safe.
Oh no, dude, don't worry. I can go like 3 to 5 days without actually having any bad side effects of not sleeping.
So.
My brain is used to it.
We could just do... I don't know.
Fun fact, my record is 9 days.
9 days.
Without sleep.
My God.
It almost killed me. True story.
So anyways, we'll work out a schedule. We'll talk about it. I think right here is a tough time.
Yeah,
let's get back to Tommy.
In the middle of a thing.
Let's get back to Tommy talking about his dog.
Hello, Tommy.
Hey. Hey. Talk about your dog, Tommy.
It was like 11:30, and I let my dog out. Or it was earlier than that. I let my dog out like usual. I was like, I'll go to the bathroom. I'll let him in. I'll walk up here like I always do. And the rope that holds his clip on his chain, he'd been chewing at it, and I didn't notice it. And he chewed all the way through it, and then got out. And I saw him, and he just sat there. And he looked at me and wagged his tail, and I was like, all right, he's going to let me just grab him and bring him inside. And then as soon as I went to grab him, he thought I was playing the game, and he just kept running back a little bit and stopping and running back. I'm like, you little son of a... So I thought I would be fast enough to just jump and grab him, and he was like... And he ran like 4 blocks that way, and I had to chase him down.
Did you eat shit on the ground?
No.
Damn.
I just have this imagine, like...
I didn't jump with no feet on the ground. I just kind of jumped at him.
Okay.
Yeah, we get this message from you that you've been chasing your dog because we're like, where'd he go? I just had a conversation with him this morning.
My dog ran all the way through the cemetery and ran almost to the other side.
Oh my God! Oh man! Meanwhile,
back in the Hall of Justice.
So okay. Yeah, that's exciting.
Not really.
Fun.
Oh my God. What? So, okay, I was going to talk about this new segment thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. Apparently, Nickelodeon wants to revive Rugrats.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Rugrats?
Yes.
Here's what makes me nervous. They want to do a live-action Rugrats.
I'm out.
Yeah, like
no fucking
exactly my question.
Did they learn from that really creepy Fairly Odd Parents live action movie? That
dude, fuck you. Drake Bell as Timmy Turner is the best thing in the fucking world. You suck.
Drake Bell's like
awesome.
Drake Bell's like 20-something years old.
That's the joke. Timmy never grew up.
Like
I can say
he grew up. He stopped believing in magic.
I know how they got him in that movie. He was broke as hell and his music career tanked. And they were like, "Hey, want some free monies?"
Free
he wanted a shitload of
that
cash.
Was not free monies. He had to earn that.
He had to sacrifice some dignity, but
he had to earn that. Next time,
he's rich again.
Lay or sit on the ground. Oh, my sister says, next time lay or sit on the ground, they will come to you if you are more on their level. Play dead, so to speak.
So, like...
She doesn't know my dog.
Because, well, no, I mean, you know what a dog does the first time you lay on the ground? They're fucking, I'm going to lick this motherfucker. Like, and then you just like, oh, I got you! Like, that dog's just going,
my dog's
I've been defeated.
And lift up and do the line. I'm just saying.
But yeah, lay back and then just like,
let's see, Christopher Goodrich. You're alive. Oh, Tommy, you're alive. I thought I won't see you until next week. I think they are making a TV show of the game Fortnite.
That was weird because that one guy was talking to us about that. Oh, to finish that though, you can go to twitch.tv/Diehm and you can watch the live podcast for our writing project, or you can go to iTunes and Google Play and download that.
Join the Diehm team on the Diehm stream.
Team Diehm stream. Watch the Diehm stream. Join Team Diehm. That's
how many more cringy freaking catchphrases can we come up with?
I said that and I didn't even think twice.
You said Diehm stream and I lost my shit. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Drizzt was like, what? And I didn't even realize, it's just second nature when I'm twitching, you know?
I noticed that you're one of the things on your banner says Team Diehm.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet.
Yeah, Team Diehm stream.
I'm gonna have to duck out here to take her to work.
Yeah, so
if you guys want to keep going, I can come back. Or if you need to peace out.
At some point I have to fuck with my printer before I go to work. I was supposed to have done student loan shit.
Fuck that.
It's gonna stop me from getting a house. That's the problem.
Son of a bitch.
If I don't get things worked out.
Keep me in debt.
This part's basically figured out. I just have to turn in some paperwork to solidify it. But then I went to the library today. Those motherfuckers. I got I did the whole print, log in, get everything printed, and then I go over to the printer and the power shuts off and turns on. And then as I'm walking up to the computers, they're still doing their thing, trying to boot back up. And I was like, I'm going to go buy printer ink. And then I found out the printer ink
is really fucking expensive.
It's almost $30 for just the black and white.
Yeah.
It is $30 for the color. So I bought the black and white to start, and then I'm going to do the color next week or in the next couple weeks. But I was so I went to print things and so I'm doing it here. I installed the printer and and every time I went to try and I hit that button that turned the power off, and then I hit that button that turned the power off, and then I restarted my computer twice and the internet was down, and finally the third time it popped up right before you guys got here. I've had a rough time, but okay. Why don't we actually end here?
You suck, Tommy.
Well, he still has to sell me a thing, so he's. But guys, we're gonna be back next week at
30 minutes early or late. There's never in between.
At least you're here. I mean, we're all here, guys. Even V's here.
Yeah.
This is a goddamn treat. V's
our super special stand-in guest.
Is she really here? Look at her.
I'm only here because I have to work.
Yeah, she's only here because I'm in your general area.
So
because I traded days at work. Normally I only work weekends.
Oh.
Also on the subject, Nate got an interview this morning and it went well. So hopefully he'll have a job at the Come and Go.
Oh, good. The one over on
6.
Yeah, Yeah. Okay. I know someone who works there. Yep.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, put a little nerdy in your pocket. Download us on iTunes and Google Play. Watch us live.
Not you guys.
Every Wednesday around noonish.
Just him.
And then next week, keep an eye out on my Twitch at DieemJD at twitch.tv. We're going to try and do the writing project. And then, Tommy, your Twitch, how's it going?
How is Tommy MF White?
I stream on occasion on my Xbox now since I got a new TV. So.
Is it Tommy F White? MF White
it's Tommy MF White at Twitch.
At twitch.tv. So it'd be twitch.tv/Tommy MF White.
I've been playing some Resident Evil 7, so if you want to watch me freak out and get the pants scared out of me.
Oh, I'm not kidding. If you get a chance, you have to watch people play that fresh, because that is an experience.
That's $20 I overspent.
Only 20 now. I got it for free only because that was when I was doing the TV show, and they actually gave me a free review copy.
Oh, wow.
It's
yeah, I've gotten that and Technomancer. That's all I got for a year and a half of working as a TV show. But I'll tell you what, throwing around the fact that you're on any form of TV, because like everywhere else, there's like legit numbers to show. Like on Twitch, you have to be like, I have so many subscribers. On YouTube, I have so many subscribers.
I'm on the TV.
Well, when you're like on TV, they're like, oh, you're on TV? Okay, here's a code. Like, it's awesome. Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
See you later. Thank you.
Later.